Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? We back in this motherfucker once again. Asha, Renu. We gonna give people time to come in. I'll be right back at y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up, East London? What's up? What's up? What's up? Peace, God. Peace, peace, peace. What's the deal? What's the deal? Yeah, we gonna keep the info flowing, man. This shit is hard work. But we gonna keep it going. Hola. Hola. Hola, Anna. What's up? What's up? Hola. Peace. What's good, Robert? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's everybody up to? What everybody up to? What's good? What's going on, Afro Pick? I see you out there. What's up? You ready for the ritual? You know? Shout out to everybody that hit me up for the ritual. You know what I mean? Everybody putting in that work. But what's good? Let me know what's good. What's everybody been up to? You put me onto cool alternative ways of thinking. These videos are important for the people. Absolutely. That's why we at this shit every day. We at it every day, so don't trip. You've been seeing them zeros since yesterday. See, yeah, when you put your mind to it, it's gonna let you know. You know what I mean? There's a reason why we don't see the zero, especially if you're not on military time. So the fact that you acknowledge the zero is gonna acknowledge you back. You know what I mean? So shout out to you for putting in the work, man. Keep it up. You know? Hopefully the video isn't too long. I know I say that every time, but we be flowing. You know how this shit go. But let's get into it. What's good? What's good, teenager? What's good? But we're gonna get into it. But before we get into anything, let's break down the mathematics. We know today, the 31st day, 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 is Jupiter, 1 is the Sun, 4 is Rahu. You was chatting in your head, you got a tarot reading from the Para in the PERT class. Okay, was the reading going good? Did the reading go good? What's good, William? What's up? What's up? 555, you need the cash flow. You know what I mean? Definitely keep hitting up that 555, Stream Brazil. Whatever you got to do, man. Do all that you can. For everybody who need money, do all that you can. Don't just use these mantras and all this stuff and don't do nothing else. You got to pile everything together. Make everything into one thing. So use the mantras and do everything you are already doing. 888. Oh, pre-kindergarten 4-year-olds. Oh, I see what you're talking about. So we know when we go to supreme mathematics, the 3, the 1, and the 4, understanding the knowledge gives birth to the culture. It is through the understanding of the knowledge that you know. You have to understand what you know. And once you understand what you know, it gives birth to your culture, which is your way of life or your path of life. So that's the theme of the day. Understanding what we know. Do we truly understand what we know? We have a lot of information. What's up? What's up? Brianna, what's up? 454, 777, 999. What's the deal? What's the deal? We got a lot of information, right? You didn't expect all that to happen in pre-K. You already know what the deal is. Expect the unexpected at all times. So, we already know. Do we understand what we know? This is the age of information. We know what we in. We know what we faced up against, right? But do we understand what we know? It's a lot of information out here from all types of people all over the place. But do we understand what we know? Because it's only through the understanding what we know that we can actually give birth to a culture or a way of life. If we plan on making this a way of life, if we plan on making this a culture, we have to understand what we know. And again, going back to yesterday, what is understanding? You must understand the subatomic realm or the quantum world as well as the spiritual world. You got to understand all 3 levels of this shit. And of course, we just saying 3 levels is obviously more. But just to simplify it, do you truly understand what you know? Because a lot of people want to get more and more and more information, not even understanding what they already know. Perfect what you already know. There's no need to get no new information without perfecting what you already know. So for all my numerologists, How long I've been live? We've been live 5 minutes. We just now starting. For all the people, all my numerologists, all my astrologists, all my synchronicities, I guess that's how you say it. For everybody who's in tune with different realms of reality, you have to understand what you know. But if you don't understand what you know, it can never give birth to your true way of life. I call it the true way of life, the spiritual way of life, the occult way of life. The only way to give birth to this reality to the point where it reflects all around you, you have to understand what you know. And again, understanding is giving that clarity. How can you post every day? That's a lot of knowledge. It's because we dealing with this understanding right now. That's how we coming every day. It's understanding. Like, I'm just reiterating the same thing over and over. I'm trying to get y'all to understand what you already know. So I'm not truly giving new information. I'm just giving you clarity of what you already know. I'm here to give clarity. I'm not necessarily here to give you something new, although it may be new to some people. But I'm only here to give clarity to what you already know. Respect to you too, man. So let's get into it. So as we said, the topic of the video is how to multiply your source energy. Now, what is the source energy and what are we talking about? Let's go into the 3 and the 1. To multiply your source energy, we deal with multiplication. That's Jupiter. Jupiter is about expansion. The source energy is the number 1. So if you ever need to get in tune with your source, whatever you feel your source is, you work with the number 1. If you want to expand on anything, that's the number 3. So we got the Jupiter, we got the Sun, the 3 and the 1, going into the 4, the culture or the Rahu. And we know Rahu is all about that ambition, about being that outlaw. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So expanding and multiplying your source energy or understanding what you already know, simply, just to wrap it all up real quick, perfecting your inner culture. We're just bringing out what's already within us. What's within us has been suppressed because of the society we in. We know that we in a matrix. So most of us have to suppress our true nature, in order to go out into the world and be in society. And again, it's not that none of us are savages or anything. We just think different. We think a lot more vivid. This is why art is necessary. Just look around. Just look around your city you in. Where is all the art? Where's all the creative people? We see all these businesses, right? We see all these posters and advertisements and marketing schemes. We see all they culture. We see all they fuck shit, right? Where our shit at? Why we don't see art around this motherfucker? Why we don't see more prophets around this motherfucker who's breaking down this game? What's up, Moon Spirit? Why do all of us end up being classified as schizophrenic and crazy and end up popping pills and go off on drugs? It's because this culture does not support creativity and expanding your source energy. So this is why I always say it's like going up against all odds when you take this shit seriously. If you take this shit seriously, you are going against all odds because there is nobody who's going to support you besides the people that already fuck with you. And this is what we're here for, right? We bring everybody together. Mind control, we already know. MK Ultra, we already know. Again, the reason I don't really talk about this stuff because you already know. It's about perfecting what you know. Perfect what you know. I don't got to tell you about MK Ultra. I don't really got to tell you about the Matrix. You already know, but do you understand what you know? That's the whole thing. Understanding what we already know. What's good? What's good, Queen of Success? What's up? What's up? Now, going back into the culture, the number 4. Your way of life. Your way of life or your culture is your path. Whatever path you're swiveling down, right? Excuse me. This is all, we just going in. Peace. Peace, Queen. I see you out there. I see you. Shout out to the ASMR videos. You already know what it is. Again, we just coming together. We trying to understand what we know. But anyway, we got a whole page of notes here. So just tune in. You know what I mean? I'm taking this shit more seriously. I'm not even coming off the top no more. I got to make sure we hit these points. Got to make sure these videos are precise. And again, let's get right into it. So, let's get into language. What's the one tool that's used against us in terms of you multiplying your source energy is the language. And I'm not talking about cuss words. I'm talking about the language of ignorance. What's shoved in our face more than anything? You can't even go to the market without seeing gossip, right? Without seeing celebrity gossip and a bunch of shit that really means nothing. Who the fuck cares about what's going on in somebody else's life? But the majority of the conscious people, they give a fuck. That's why that shit is still making money. Gossip makes money. Deception makes money. Lies make money. People want to hear the lies. People want to hear scandals. People want to know who's on drugs, who's fucked up, who's in the closet, gay and all this shit. Like, this is what people get their mind on. So we know that we are in the culture of ignorance. So although we are in the information age, most motherfuckers are still ignorant. Because they're caught up with the fuck shit. Not because they don't know better, not because they're not smart, it's because their energy is directed towards the fuckery. Because they don't want to put in this work, because they understand. This is going against all odds. What's up, Brianna? What's the deal? We know that this is going against all odds. When you walk this motherfucking path alone, you start off alone. We expand, but we start off alone. And you know, if you starting off alone, then you know you up against all odds. So again, salute to everybody out there. So remember, first and foremost, if you want to build a culture, if you want to build up your way of life so that this reflects in all realms of society in terms of what you are able to perceive, you must switch your language. And again, I'm not saying cuss and all. I'm not, some people can't even get over cuss words. But fuck them, because at the end of the day, it's way more important shit to be concerned about than what's coming out of a person's mouth. So I'm not talking about that type of language. I'm talking about what are you giving your energy to. Even though, excuse me, we know that there's no escaping this shit. It's just to keep the fire on your ass, right? We definitely don't have time for this shit, but this is why it exists. It exists for a reason. It's a necessary evil. So I'm not saying this shit, once again, I'm not saying it thinking like, oh, I'm wishful thinking, oh, things need to be better, things need to change. No, things are exactly the way they are is because they need to be that way to keep the fire. If the shit wasn't the way it is, we wouldn't be where we are now. There would be no need for people to be spiritual if we didn't have a fire under our ass. That's the only reason people come to perfect their inner world, because there's no way to perfect this outer shit because we can't change people. We're not going to be able to change people, but we can change within, and we can change what we perceive, we can change what we give our energy to. The world would always be the same, but we know it's levels to this shit. It's levels. You start off in hell, but you end up in heaven. And again, these are metaphors for states of mind. What is a heavenly state of mind? Is you being able to manifest strictly from thought. In terms of you knowing the true potential of your thought. The language of ignorance, they don't take their thoughts seriously. They don't. They don't know the power of their own mind, so they don't think. They think, but their mind is all scattered and nothing can happen. They can't get over the hump because they're not taking their own thoughts seriously. They think, oh, I could just think about whatever the fuck I want. It doesn't matter. I can read all this gossip. I can be into all this bullshit, and it doesn't matter. But then they realize that I can't really get over a certain hump because they're not giving their energy to knowledge. They're giving their energy to the language of ignorance. And the language of ignorance is essentially the language of death because you can't go anywhere. You're absolutely right. This is serious work for those who know, for those who understand what they know. You will know why I'm like, yo, I gotta fucking drop every single day. It's because it's that serious. Not because I ain't got shit else to do. It's just that serious. Like, it's nobody else is doing it. But is this not the most crucial times we ever been in? It's deception all over the place. Somebody got to spit the real, regardless of whom or what. Rain, hail, sleet, or snow, we got to be in this motherfucker holding this shit down. So let's continue, right? The code of silence. What do I mean by the code of silence? Most people are manipulated is because they're focused on the spirit realm. What's up, psychosexual? What's up? What's up, Mark? You know what I mean? What's good? What's good? Black Titan? What's good? Sharice? What's up? 2233. The code of silence. Because people are able to be manipulated by physical, material things. What do I mean by that? You see somebody driving a Rolls Royce, You're going to be looking at that shit, right? You see somebody driving in a Lamborghini, you're going to turn around and look. Oh, I want that. I want to drive in that. Or you see somebody living nice or wearing nice clothes or whatever the case is. The illusions of grandeur. Because we look at these things, we automatically associate the person. Oh, they must be successful. They must be doing something right. I need to be like them. I need to do more. But that's never the case. Just because we see these material things manifesting before us, we understand it's a code of silence. What do I mean by that? It's illusionists. This world is filled with illusionists. Those who are weak but pretend to be strong. What do I mean by that? How are you weak but pretend to be strong? People hide behind material things. Just because they have, let's just say, somebody may have infinite sources of currency. So they can buy whatever the fuck they want. So everybody else who's using the language of ignorance, they buy into that. That's why people are caught up with celebrities and people, a bunch of shit that they really shouldn't be caught up in at all. Because illusions of grandeur brings the attention off of the path. You looking at this shit, you looking at that shit, but now you off your square. Now you're not firm. Because now you're trying to get what somebody else have, which you wasn't even thinking about before you seen it. Motherfuckers wasn't thinking about none of this shit until somebody came with it. So people are easily manipulated because most people's goals is to be successful and to be, have a lot of money and resources. There's nothing beyond that. So their peak or the pinnacle of success is to have an abundance of resources for most people. So they're going to be looking at people and giving energy to the people who they feel fit that caliber. However, that's a level, not the end of the road, as we've been talking about before. Material success is a level. It's not the end all be all. But for those who look at that as the pinnacle, they're going to be interested in all these celebrities and whoever the fuck, whatever they're doing, because they're looking at these people as the pinnacle of life. When these people don't have to be worth a goddamn thing. Just because you have that doesn't mean you're a good person. Don't mean you have a good heart. Don't mean you helping anybody. So at the end of the day, right, you become rich in wisdom. See, this is my whole thing. My whole thing, I don't really focus on the material. I'm not trying to acquire material things. My focus is wisdom. I'm gathering wisdom. Because wisdom doesn't die. Wisdom doesn't get old. I don't give a fuck what car you see. In 5 years, you're not going to give a fuck about it. In 10 years, it's going to be irrelevant. But let you gain some wisdom. That shit will still be relevant 50 years from now. Anything material will not last. Simple shit, right? So because we're focusing on all this material shit, the shit that's not even going to last, we wonder why life is the way it is, because we're dealing with things that don't last. But when we deal with things that are immortal, we are the immortals, right? When we deal with that immortal information, when we deal with that immortal way of life, the shit that don't fade, the shit that doesn't die, the shit that will still be relevant 50 years from now, the shit that will still be relevant 100 years from now, right? That's what the fuck I'm talking about. So, everybody ain't built for that, though, because people want to live good. People want to be, in the limelight with success and fame. And I don't knock nobody who travels that path. Just know it's levels. Don't make that the end all be all. Just know it's levels to the shit. So, let's keep going. Now, because we know that we're in the culture of ignorance, we know that, okay, how does this even happen? Let's look at it this way. We have situations like, it's a lot of things coming up. We know it's cleansing going on. It's a lot of things coming up. We have situations like this, where somebody can wave something in front of you and say, oh, you need this, you need that. But you really don't. You just think you do because we don't think beyond the physical realm. And I don't mean we as in the people that's watching the video, we as in the collective consciousness. Because we are limited, because we choose to reveal or we choose to speak the language of ignorance, we're not able to see beyond the physical realm. Again, as I said in the last video, the physical realm only makes up 1/3 of the complete reality. You got the spiritual, you got the physical, then you got the quantum realm. If you're strictly focused on the physical, you're only seeing 1/3 of reality. There's 2/3 that you're not even perceiving because you're thinking about all the fuck shit. So 2 other 3 are not even available to you. You can't work no magic. So the only thing you can do is go A to B to C. You got to go in this straight linear line like time. You still look at time linearly. Okay, it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Not looking at time as time is infinite. There is no sense of time. There are cycles. But time as we know it doesn't exist. We know this, right? But do we understand what we know? Do we understand the true science of time? If we know that time is infinite, time is just an illusion. What does that really mean? How can you shape and mold your life according to that truth? That's what I'm talking about, building up the culture. How can you shape and mold your life based on what you already know to be true? Do you understand what you know so that you can shape and mold and structure your life around these universal truths? That's why I say you must commit these things to your memory. Commit them to your memory so that you can see them instantly when they appear to you. If you don't have it in your memory, when some shit come at you, you're not going to have a defense for it because you don't have it in your memory. You may have it written down in a notebook. You may have a bookmark. What's up? What's up? What's up? You may have it in a bookmark. You may have it somewhere else. But if you have no memory of what you're studying, you can't activate your magic. Magic can't be activated if you don't understand what you know. Understanding what you know is committing it to memory. When you commit it to memory, it becomes your way of life. Our way of life is based on our memory. That's why it's so important to clear out your subconscious mind, because we know the subconscious mind is what's manifesting. This is what we see. It's based on the subconscious. So if we know it's based on memory, you must commit more and more things to your memory so that you can change your reality. There's no other way to do it. Now you can do it physically. Okay, I'm going to get this job. I'm going to save up my money. I'm going to get this car. I'm going to get this house. You can do it that way. But that's not doing anything for the subconscious. It's not clearing out your subconscious, just making you more money. It's not. This is the difference. This is the difference between the masses and the ones who are chosen. You're not thinking about A, B, C, D. I gotta do this, then do this, then do this, then do this. You clear out your subconscious mind so that when it's time to do those things, you can breeze by it because you're not attached to any of this shit. You're not trying to have the newest and the latest. Or if you want the newest and the latest, you know that is another way to do that. You don't have to do what everybody else did. You ain't got to do nothing to harm nobody. You ain't got to deceive nobody. You know that you can manifest strictly out of thought because you've been committing universal truths to your memory. Exactly. When you are reprogramming your subconscious mind, you are reactivating your power. If you don't reprogram your subconscious mind, you're going to have to do the same thing everybody else does. The only thing that makes us different is because we are reprogramming our subconscious mind and because we understand what we know. And through this understanding, we commit this understanding to memory, and it's going to reflect through one's path or way of life. Hopefully that makes sense. Right? Let's move on. So, again, we know, now that we understand how we got here, the culture was taken away. The real shit was taken away and replaced with the fuck shit. However, how did this even happen in the first place? It's because people were not satisfied to begin with. For example, what am I talking about? Let's just say you work a job making $20 an hour and a job comes by that can give you $50 an hour. Most people are going to take that $50 or that $30 raise, you can say, right? They're going to like, okay, I can make $30 more. Of course I'm going to take that. It's a no-brainer. But now you're dealing with more of the fuck shit. You're dealing with more of the oppressive culture. This is what people don't want to acknowledge, right? The deeper and deeper you get into this shit, the more you got to deal with shit that is unoriginal, that has nothing to do with who you are as a person. Yes, you're making your money, you're paying your bills, but you cannot be yourself. You have to put on this mask, right? You have to put on the mask. You can't be yourself. You're getting your money though, but you got to put the mask on. Let me do this shit again. You're putting on the mask, right? This is you. This is not you, right? Exactly. You have to make your own career. You have to support yourself. Slave to the system. But what is the system? The system is deeper than, just a group of motherfuckers that we so-called the Illuminati. What is the system? The system is even deeper than the Matrix. Because who created the Matrix? Do we truly understand what we know? Because we could say, did we create all this on purpose? To go through this on purpose? To evolve on purpose? Maybe so. And again, excuse all this background noise. We just hit the record button. So if it get too crazy, y'all let me know. But if y'all can hear me clearly, we're gonna keep going. But let's get into some more shit. I'm just hitting y'all with these things real quick. We don't have much time. Again, I actually don't want to waste time. Actually, we have plenty of time, but I want y'all to put in this work. All right. What's the next thing? How do you embody the spirit of the outlaw? Because the title of the video, how to multiply your source energy. How do you do that? Embody the spirit of the outlaw, or the number 4, or Rahu. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. We're gonna break it down. You see Rahu right here. So I'm gonna break all that down. So don't worry about it. I'm gonna put it all on another page. I know y'all like the visuals. So what about the Tantra? Tantra works, but you must understand what you know. So you know about Tantra, but do you understand Tantra? Or Tantra? Do you understand it? We know a lot of shit. I'm pretty sure all of the people watching here has an abundance of information. We can have conversations all day about anything. But do we understand what we know? To the point where it's manifesting in our everyday way of life. Right? So, how do you embody the spirit of the outlaw? What is the spirit of the outlaw? Is an outlaw somebody that's going against the government, the rebel, the liberator? Yes and no. Yes, you're going against the grain, but no, you're not necessarily doing it to attract attention, or you may be trying to attract attention. But before all that, to embody the spirit of the outlaw is just to be original. You have to be original in your thought. Not in your skin tone, your thought. Your thought has to be original. What is original thought? Manifesting straight from thought. Synchronicity, universal law. All is mental. Correspondence, polarity. Yes, exactly. The Tupac energy, right? But motherfuckers ain't going that hard. So that's why I didn't even mention Pac, because motherfuckers ain't about to go that hard. So I know it's levels to this shit. But if you want to bring up Pac, just look at what he had to go through to build up that work ethic to be as great as he was. He had to travel all the way from the East, was born in the East, came all the way to the West, and made this shit happen. The West accepted him. See, it's a spirit, it's spirit. We don't even have to think about the physical man. Just think about the spiritual nature of what was really going on. That had never happened before. Somebody that's born on the East Coast but was accepted on the West Coast, when does that ever happen? It happened with him because he embodied the spirit of the outlaw. When you embody that spirit of the outlaw, because people think, oh, that's Pac. But he was embodying a spirit that was greater than himself because he was true to the original culture. Simple as that. When you are true to the original culture, you embody that spirit of the outlaw, it takes over. It's like people say being possessed, but people are afraid of spirits. People don't want to be possessed. Are you really trying to interact with spirits? Do you really know what you're getting yourself into? Because, as I said, well, if a spirit or the spirit makes a request, but you don't want to fulfill it. See, nobody want to talk about that, right? The spirit isn't soft. What if a spirit puts a hit out on somebody? The spirit says, okay, we need to take this person off the planet because they're wicked. And you got enough courage to take this motherfucker off the planet? Because the spirit said it, not because of the judge of the law or even yourself. The spirit said, take that motherfucker out. The world would be a better place. Who got enough courage to do that? Right? Who got enough courage to even interact directly with a spirit? This is what I'm saying. Do we understand what we know? A lot of people was thinking, oh, the spirit is all nice and love and light. The spirit can be that. The spirit can be love and light. But that ain't it. The spirit know how to go into that darkness as well and make this work happen. Just like if the spirit can touch somebody like Tupac who came from the hood, what make you think it can't touch you? Can't touch us, can't touch me. If the spirit can touch Pac, it can touch us, it can touch me, it can touch anybody. But you must embody the spirit. You must be true to self. You got to be true to self. But you know, in order to be true to self, in order to know what's really going on, you got to take that shit to the underworld. So let's break this down on paper. Let me break this down right now. So is that where we get our light and shadow from? Exactly. But let me break this down. I'm about to break it down on paper so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Alright? Give y'all some visuals. Okay? Here we go. Rahu. R-A-H-U. The number 4. The shadow planet. Right? For those who don't know the story of Rahu, let me give you a quick synopsis of the story. Rahu was a demon that went amongst the gods. The gods were sipping on that drink. The drink made them immortal. Rahu, who was a demon, disguised himself as a god. Took a sip of the drink. They noticed his disguise at the last moment and cut the head off. But it was already too late. So Rahu became the immortal head. The rest of his body became Ketu, K-E-T-U, or the number 7. So the spirit, the immortal head is Rahu. The immortal head is Rahu. The body of the immortal is Ketu. And we know Ketu is the exact opposite of Rahu. Rahu is all about ambition, aggression, destruction, and chaos. K2 is all about being spiritual, being tranquil, meditation, mantras, getting into your spiritual zone. Rahu is like, fuck all this shit. Let's go into the world and let's conquer. Let's build an empire. So Rahu is about building an empire, conquering, domination. Let's take it a step further. Because we know R is the 18th letter. A is the first letter, H is the 8th letter, U is the 21st letter. Here we go. Right? If y'all was here yesterday, y'all know where this is going. 18th letter, the first letter, the 8th letter, the 21st letter. Now let's break down the planets. Let's see how all this plays out. Let me write all this down. Give me 1 second here. Sun, Saturn, Moon, and the sun. All right, here we go. R, the 18th letter. The 1 is the sun, A the Saturn. A, the first letter, the sun. H, the 8th letter, Saturn. U, the 21st letter. The 2 is the moon. The 1 is the sun. So what is this talking about? So we got the 18 with the R, but then we got the A and the H, which is which separates the 1 and the 8. Then we got the 2 and the 1. So how does all this play out? So we got the sun and Saturn working together, and then we got the sun and Saturn separate. So what does that mean? So we're dealing with the R. When the sun and the Saturn are working together, and we know the sun is all about harmony, beauty, balance. We know Saturn is all about chaos and madness. So the energy of Saturn dims the light of the sun, but not too dim. The sun being able to shine on Saturn, just not as bright. In other words, Saturn is all about chaos. From nothing becomes something. The sun is the exact opposite. So when you put these energies together, they lessen each other. So it's like half and half. Or half demon, half angel. What do I mean by half demon, half angel? We are not wholly good and we're not wholly bad. So this is what I mean by embodying the spirit of the outlaw. It means you step into the underworld, you step into the darkness, but not all the way. You still have a light within you to guide you, to make sure that you don't get thrown off track. That's what I'm talking about. The half demon, half angel. You're not afraid to step into the underworld, but you're not so dark to the point where you forget about illumination. That's the difference. Right? Half demon, half angel. When you take on that perspective, like, yo, I'm not wholly good and I'm not wholly bad. It just depends on the situation. So we know if we embody in the spirit of the outlaw, it's based on situation. So we know we have to be, or we are against all odds, you gotta bring out that demonic side of yourself at some point if you wish to upgrade the levels. Because again, it's not just gonna happen. There is no A, B, C, D, E. It's not going like that, especially for a spiritualist. Now, what about the sun and the Saturn? Okay, let me write this down actually so y'all can see what I'm saying. I'll write that down if y'all want some visuals. Alright. R, 18th letter, sun and Saturn, half demon, half angel. So now we got to deal with the sun and the Saturn in their purity, in their pure state. So what is that in the pure state? Okay, let me write this down. Purity, chaos. Purity, chaos. So when we separate the demon from the angel, what do we have? The sun purifies you. When you stand out in the sun, the fire from the sun purifies you. Right? We get purified by just standing in the sun. Saturn, on the other hand, reminds us that do not sleep. Because this motherfucker's always watching. This motherfucker's always listening. As they say, the streets is watching, right? No lacking in the streets. No lacking in the streets. So Saturn is always there as a reminder to keep the fire on your ass, to not sleep and not slip. So when you separate the demon and the angel, when you look at them in their purest form, the angelic is all about peace, harmony, balance. Saturn is all about the chaos, but stabilizing the chaos. Because the chaos can only be stabilized from within. That's the lesson of Saturn. Because Saturn is chaotic on the outside. Then the only way to be balanced is you have to be balanced from within. The sun is balanced from the outside, but it's chaotic in the inside of the sun. Because the inside of the sun is hot as fuck. It would completely annihilate you. The inside of the sun would annihilate you, but the outside is soft enough to give you healing. Saturn will annihilate you from the outside, but on the inside is pure. So when you separate the energies, you see how they are really working together. So we see the half angel, half demon, and we see them when they're separated. Now, let's deal with the moon and the sun, right? 1 second. The underworld, righteous. All right. Now we're dealing with the U, which is the 21st letter. The moon is number 2. 1 is the sun. We have, what is this? The underworld and righteous. Underworld, righteous. So what does that mean? As we were just saying, when you embody the spirit of the outlaw, you're not afraid to explore the underworld, but you're still righteous in your heart. Even if you pull the trigger and take life, you're still righteous in your heart. Even if you take a motherfucker off the planet, you're still righteous in your heart. That's the difference. That's what makes an outlaw. An outlaw may do dirt, but an outlaw is never dirty. As his famous DMX said, there's a difference between doing wrong and being wrong. And that ain't right. Simple as that. There's a difference between doing wrong and being wrong. If you have to do wrong to get to another level, that's different than just being wrong. Like, it's just, you're just wrong in your whole essence. You have no righteousness within you. That's the difference. However, you must go into the underworld to see what you are truly made of. The underworld makes you or break you, depending on your perspective. Not because the underworld is hard or chaotic. It's your perspective of life. Can you deal with what you see? Can you deal with the truth? The truth is in the streets. And I think somebody said earlier in the comments, you know, you see all this being homeless. You're absolutely right. You see the absolute truth. The underworld is breaking you. Well, you have to rise up. You have to be pure. Because if the underworld is breaking you down, you must build yourself back up. Restart from scratch. Bring yourself out of it. Regroup. Study what you did or what you didn't do. Then throw your ass right back in there and master your craft. You know what I mean? What's up? What's up, Europe? Romania, Europe? What's up? What's up? Shout out to motherfucking Europe. Exactly. Make you strong. The underworld not only purifies you, but it strengthens you. because you're not strengthened because of physical strength. It's because it's righteous. Like, yo, even though I'm walking this dark path, I'm still righteous in my heart. So if somebody needs some help, I'm going to still help them. If somebody needs some game, I'm going to teach them. I'm not just going to let people suffer on my watch. So the world becomes your family in a sense. If you in the streets, if you navigate in the streets, you're going to come across very, very nice people, destructive people, people that are very knowledgeable, people that are very ignorant. But you look at them all the same. You're looking directly into their soul. You're looking directly into their spirit. Fuck what they're doing on the outside, because the spirits like to test you, especially if you're in the streets. All these so-called drug addicts who have gone to all the drug addicts that have gone to a different realm, they embody spirits. So when you go out into the streets, you're dealing with spirits. You don't even have to look at them as human beings. You can look at them as spirits. They have chose to live a life of being the avatar for a spirit. So when they come to you, how they come to you is based on what's going on in your mind. And I see it for myself. I'll give you an example. Back in the days when I was thinking about Babylon, you know, if y'all, those who's familiar with Aleister Crowley, know about his philosophy on Babylon. For those who are not familiar, it's basically Babylon is like the Virgin Mary, right? It's the purest of the pure. That's like the pinnacle of your spiritual path is to reach Babylon. So, but Babylon is in a fucking dark ass cave. And she has a guardian, a dog guardian that will not allow you to get to her. So then you gotta ask yourself, how do I pass this fucking guardian to get to this pure state? Or you can say your higher self or your holy guardian angel. You got this big ass attack dog in your fucking way. How do you get past this attack dog? You have to understand what the fuck you know. It's only through understanding you will be able to get past that guardian. The guardian is not there to guard her, it's the seed. The guardian is there to devour the aspect of yourself that is no longer pure. Right? Do what thou wilt should be the whole of the law. You already know what the deal is, man. For those who are in the know, the guardian is only there to devour the aspects of yourself that are not ready to transcend. So just like, you know, in the Egyptian philosophy, if your heart is heavier than the feather, then your soul will be devoured and you will have to reincarnate. It's the same philosophy. All the states or all the aspects of yourself that are no longer pure will be devoured. And they cannot face Babylon. They cannot go to Babylon. They can't face Babylon. So this is why I say you have the sun and you have Saturn. You have to have demon. You have to have angel. Because you are still righteous in your heart. You didn't allow the demonic forces to make you wholly demonic. And you didn't allow the angelic forces to make you wholly angelic. As much as that seems crazy to love and like people, why would not be wholly angelic? Because you understand that we have to deal with the underworld. We have to be an outlaw because we're not in a perfect place. This is not a perfect world. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. You can be as nice and optimistic as you want, but you got to get your hands dirty. There's no way around that. You have to get your hands dirty at some point. There's no way around it. And if you don't want to get your hands dirty, then you will always be down here when you're trying to be up here. You have to get your hands dirty. And again, for those who don't want to do that or who find a problem with that, then find another path. So, any questions? Y'all let me know what y'all thinking. You know, what's up? You know what I mean? Again, we ain't gonna be here too long. Do you understand what you know? Can you really see God? How many people have actually met God in the spirit of a person? Some people have, but some people haven't. You know? But how many people has really been in the streets to really know the truth? You know? People just going to work and coming home. They don't know what the fuck goes on in their city. You know? How many people really know what goes on in your city? Do you know what's going on at 3 a.m. in the hood in your city? You probably don't, because you in your house. You don't know. You don't really know what's truly going on in your own city, in your own backyard. Because motherfuckers are not willing to face the underworld. If you're willing to face the underworld, then you know. You've been in the streets, then yeah, as everybody who been in the streets know exactly what I'm talking about. It purified you because you know if you ever stop, you die. That's just how raw it is. Let's just say you had no money, you have no resources, you have no family, you have no friends. If you stop, you die. There's nobody coming to save you. There's nobody coming to save you. If you stop, you die. So you must continue forward regardless of whom or what. And if you got to break a couple rules to do so, to survive, then it is what it is. You're not going to be looking bad. You're not going to look down at yourself because you had to fucking survive. It is what it is, though. But some people don't want to get their hands dirty. Right? Exactly. Okay, here we got a fucking troll. Let me block this bitch ass nigga. You know, we not, it's no tolerance for this shit. No tolerance for that. So that's done. Right? Got that motherfucker out immediately. We have no tolerance for that shit because anybody who trying to stop this shit ain't with it. So fuck them. They saying it's BS. It's BS. Tell me where I lied. Never lied. But anyway. So we already know what it is. You know, when you spitting that real shit, somebody's gonna try to do some real shit, but whatever. You know, the message is already out. Do I have a moderator? No, I don't have a moderator. I just blocked them myself. So fuck them. You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but I have no mercy for fuck shit. I have no mercy for this shit. So, but these people will never show their faces, and this is what I'm saying. That person didn't have a picture. That person not even had it was all fake. So a person created a fake profile with a fake name and come on here while we spitting this true game, right? Trying to fuck the vibe up, and for what? Because they don't agree with what I'm saying, even though it's the truth. And again, you got to be brave. This is not for the faint of heart. It's not for everybody. You got to be brave. So we're gonna end it at that. We ain't gonna harp on that too long. We'll never see that person again. And then anybody else come with the shit, you know, they getting their head blown off. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Trust me, we'll do it. We'll put in that work. If you want it, we put in that work. You know what I mean? We'll hunt you with demons. We'll hunt you with demons. We'll fuck your whole life up. But we don't need to talk war. We speak in silence, right? We just let them find out. But so again, let me know if y'all got any questions. We'll be on here a couple more minutes. You know what I mean? Y'all had to witness a public execution, but it is what it is. Be brave, though. Be brave in your heart and do what's necessary for your own growth and development. And don't let nobody fuck you over. Do I listen to Joey Badass? Not recently, but I know of Joey Badass, but I haven't heard his latest works. But shout out to Joey Badass. Is this shadow work? Absolutely. The underworld is shadow work. Reprogramming your subconscious mind. RIP capital Steez. You know what I mean? So definitely that's why I talk about the underworld. Sometimes you gotta go to the streets. The streets is rough and raw, but it's truthful. You need to go to the streets. If you want the truth in this rawest form, that's why I say stay outside for a full 24 hours and see if you can deal. You know, exactly. The subconscious mind, the underworld, you can say is the same thing. Somebody say sex magic. Do you have any? Do I have sex magic? If it ain't sex magic, I'm not having sex. To me, if you're not putting your thoughts with your sexual energies, it ain't even sex to me. It don't make no sense to not be having sex magic. So everybody out there, y'all get on y'all sex magic. I know y'all got partners. Y'all got partners or y'all got sexual interests. Put in that work. Stop being afraid. Put in that work. Understand what you know. You know about sex magic, but do you understand it? And is it manifesting in your way of life? You know, you charging any sigils under the blood moon. We already, like I said, everybody who hit me up about the blue moon ritual, there are a couple people, about 4 or 5 people hit me up, and they wanted to get in tune with the ritual. So I'm like, it's no point of doing a live stream. It's only a couple people hitting me up. So for all the people that hit me up, shout out to you. I'm gonna send y'all a private link, and y'all be able to witness the ritual. You know what I mean? So if you want that, you're going to hit me personally. But I'm not going to do a live stream for that because it's really not for everybody. So that's why I'm doing a live stream right now for the information for the masses. For y'all, so y'all get this game. You know what I mean? No doubt. So, y'all already know what the fuck the deal is. We going to get up out of here in a minute. Where can you find more info about everything I'm talking about? I have no idea. I don't know where to find it online because I didn't get it from online. I'm speaking from personal experience, so I don't know where to get it from online. But I suggest you go out into your own city and go downtown to your own city at about 3 a.m. and you tell me what you see. Shout out 1111. So I don't know. I don't know where to go online, but go into the streets 3 a.m. and you tell me what you see. You tell me what you experience. You tell me how the people treat you. Can I tell you more about the ritual? I talked about the ritual yesterday, but hit my email, lordasar@gmail.com, LORDASAR. If you wanna get in tune with the ritual, I'm doing it tonight about 6 p.m. So hit up my email. I appreciate you as well. Was it Candy? Shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get up out of here. LORDASAR. LORDASAR. It's gonna also be in the description of the video. So anybody that need the email, just look at the description of the video. What time is it right now? It's 2:08 right now, West Coast time, Pacific Coast time. Yeah, there you go. You got the email right. Leandro, yeah, you got the email right. Bless up, bless up. So we're gonna get up out of here. So if nobody got no more questions, we're gonna get out. Y'all take this information, understand what you know, apply it to your everyday life, apply it to your culture in 4 hours here, in 4 hours. How much do I want for a numerology reading? Hit up my email, bro. Hit up my email. We're not gonna discuss prices. But if you want to know prices, they will soon be like $100. I'm gonna be charging off whole $100. Because when you get a natal reading from me, that shit can take up to 6 hours. Anybody who got a natal reading from me can testify that shit takes hours to go through all this stuff. So if you willing to dedicate 4 to 6 hours, and you gonna have to take notes, it's a whole course. I'm giving you a whole course. You know what I mean? So shout out to y'all. So again, we're gonna get up out of here. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the super blue blood moon, if that's how you say it. You know what I mean? Exactly. You already know what it is. Alpha Pick has got a reading from me. And she already know what the deal is. It takes hours. It takes hours. However, I got cheaper things. Just hit up my email. If you want to know any services, everything is in the description of the video. Hit up my email. You know what I mean? So shout out to you. So we're going to get up out of here. Peace, hotep, chaos, destruction. Embody the spirit of the outlaw, of the underworld, of the dark side. But keep a righteous heart. You will be good. Go out into the streets of your city and you see what you find. See how the people interact and see if you can really hold your own. Right? So we're going to get up out of here. We in this bitch. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I see a couple of y'all later on, but I'll see the majority of y'all tomorrow. So peace, hotep. Madness 100.